Okay, buddy. Where are we off to this week? Do you know? You know where we're going? That's right. Back to Japan.
One ticket to Tokyo, please.
Japan, because this week we're looking at Vivitar. Vivitar 135 2.8. And this is an early edition, 1968. Vivitar, whether you know it or not, did not make their own lenses. They just branded stuff off other people and did their own thing. So this was actually made by Tokina. And so we're going to get into it. Is it any good? It's not bad. It's not the best in the world, but it's not bad. They're cheap, vintage stuff. So why don't we find out how good they are? Grab yourself something to eat or drink. Get yourself comfortable.
Talk it out, man. Kind of grabs you by the boo-boo.
And let's get it on.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan, my little co-host. That's right, here we are, another week, another episode of Camera Talk. Just like the intro says, what are we looking at this week, buddy? Well, this big monster, looks like a monster compared to some of the other lenses I've been looking at, but it is a Vivitar 135 2.8. Now it's kind of from their more economical end of things. I mean, they have a Series 1, which is their top of the line stuff, but I don't have any of those.
Cheap bastard.
So this one's cheap though. It's like $50. But it's not bad. You know, it's designed in 1968. So Daddy was just a little wee lad, exactly the same age as you when this thing was designed. Aww. Now Vivitar did produce their own lenses as far as designing them goes, but they didn't manufacture them. So that was kind of what Vivitar's bang for the buck was, is they're kind of like Apple. You know, they just design stuff and then somebody else builds their products for them.
I've discovered a camera, the Vivitar.
So Vivitar did the same thing. They designed lenses using computer engineering, calculations and whatnot to come up with a decent lens element. And then they farmed it out to others to do the dirty work for them, right? So this particular lens, the 135, back in that day, you know, later on, they had other people doing their thing, but to start out with, they had two manufacturers that they would farm these out to, and one was Comine or Comine, depending on if you pronounce that E or not, and the other one is Tokina. Now the one I happen to have is a Tokina lens, and some people will argue either way. You know, there's all these smarty pants photographers out there who think they know more than everybody else, and they'll say, oh no, the Comine one is better than the Tokina one.
You know, they're grapes, they're wine sniffers. It's wine sniffer equipment. And
or the opposite of that. No, the Tokina one is better than the Comine. Whatever. You know, test them out. They're cheap enough. You know, if you don't like it, sell it. Somebody else would probably sell it for the same price you paid for it. But anyway, mine's a Tokina. How do you tell? Looking at the serial number. You know, again, Vivitar had like 15 different companies making stuff for them. But for this particular 135, it was only the two. And the Tokina serial numbers start with a 37. The third number in the serial number was the year, and because it's only a single digit, it could technically be, you know, since again this 1968 is when they launched this thing, so it could be 68, 78, 88, but you know they didn't continue making this style for that long, so it's probably a pretty darn good guess at 68. The fourth and fifth numbers are the week the day and week of the, not day, but the week of the year. So it could be 01 all the way through 52. So anyway, not that that really matters, but the year does for sure. So 37.8 would be a Tokina manufactured Vivitar 135 2.8. The other thing with Vivitar 2, not that there's a second one, 2 as in also, is that, you know, having Tokina build these lenses for them. Tokina's, you know, bright idea in the day was to create a type of mount that you can adapt other mounts to.
Get the fuck out of here.
And this was called T4, was the system. And they had like 10 different options, at least for this one anyway. Everything from Canon to Nikon to Minolta. This one's a Minolta. Konica, and so on and so on. You know, Contact Shishiga, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, that was kind of their bright idea until, you know, later on when autofocus wasn't too far around the corner from then, so they had to kind of drop that whole idea. Now, one of the other things that's kind of funky about this lens is
Funky coma data.
the aperture ring. You know, goes from 2.8 in the middle all the way to f22. Now, depending on which mount you have on there, whether it was again an M42 or a CY mount or a Minolta or whatever else, depending on that mount, the aperture ring goes in different directions. So they have the option to go the other way as well.
Get the fuck out of here.
And you'll see they have the colors 2.8 to f22 and 2.8 to f22 on the other way. As you know, these ones are white and these ones are green, and that's how you can identify the difference. Now, again, because this is adapted onto a modern mirrorless camera, it doesn't matter. They both work going both ways, so I can choose which direction I can you know, open up to or stop down to either way. And as you can see, it's, you know, the actual lens itself is from here to here, and then the adapter is that much. And of course, this is, you know, when you bring it totally out to infinity, it shortens it up quite a bit. What else can we say about this? It has a built-in hood. Let me show you that. See that? That hood is...
It actually really sucks. That kind of cringe level where your sphincter pucker is kind of horrible.
not even an inch. 3/4 of an inch maybe.
That's how you use it.
Maybe 5 centimeters. Not even that, maybe 4 centimeters. Not much of a hood. So I've never used it. I don't see why. It's a 55 millimeter thread on the front. Just grab yourself a cheapy hood, because they are, like I just said, they're cheap. You could get, you know, a made in China metal hood for relatively little money. So get yourself a real hood and put it on there, because that built-in hood, it's a joke more than anything else. So what else can we say of that? Also, again, there's two versions. Version, not virgin.
Shit.
There's 2 versions that Tokina made. One, like this one here, is milled metal grip. So it's a little serrated, you know, metal grip, and the other one's a rubber grip, you know, which a lot of manufacturers moved to later on. So this is an earlier, obviously the earlier model. What else can we say? Besides the funky, that T4 adapter, which really does make it stand out from the crowd. that you could just change adapters, so you could put this back in the day on a number of different cameras. Now, of course, with today's mirrorless camera, it really doesn't matter what mount it is. You know, they have adapters for just about everything out there these days, because again, they're cheap. It's one of the good things coming out of China in the photography world are cheap, relatively well-built products. You know, they're very economical, I would say, not cheap, because the production is not cheap. They're actually pretty well made. Anyhow, what else can we say? Well, we can talk about the specs on the camera. 4 elements in 4 groups. Yeah. It's close focus. Sucks.
They suck. They just suck.
That's right, it sucks. 1.8 meters. So just under 2 meters or 6 feet. That's that's definitely not, you're not getting very close on that. But being the fact that it's a 135, I guess you could stand back and just zoom in. Well, not zoom in, but zoom with your feet anyway, to get as close as you really need to. 8 aperture blades, which is not bad. I don't remember. Are they curved? Let Daddy have a look here. Oh, hang on, I can't see. Oh yeah, they're curved aperture blades, so they maintain circular bokeh balls.
Say, everybody haven't seen my balls.
In your out of focus area, and we like our balls round, right? They're circular, yeah. So so that's a good thing. You know, the blades are rounded, 8 rounded blades. It's definitely not light, 369 grams, so it's got a bit of heft to it. Oh, wow, look at your fingernails getting kind of long. Gonna have to give you a trim in a second. Trim those claws, mister. Other than that, again, it's decently sharp. Again, these earlier Vivitars were not the sharpest in the world, you know. They do get sharp, just like just about any lens, really, once you stop it down. 5.6 to, I think f8 is the ultimate. But again, for portraiture, you know, 135s are great for portraiture. Wide open is sharp enough, and I'll show you some pictures of him in a second. But decent construction. I mean, again, these things, the earlier Japanese lenses were built like tanks. You know, last forever. Just decent sharpness, ideal at, you know, f8 is the greatest. But for contrast to really kick in, 5.6 is its sweet spot.
That's what she said.
What else? Nice bokeh. You know, I'll show you again some samples of that. So it's great for portraiture. It's good for distance as well. 135, and you can get some landscape in there. Again, for corner to corner sharpness, you're gonna have to really get the stop down happening there. Maybe f8 to f16 in that range. But other than that, I mean, the only thing, again, if you visually look at this thing and see that aperture going from 22 to 2.8 and then back the other direction, going to all the way up to 22 again, that would probably throw a few people off looking at that, going, what the hell's going on here? But again, it's due to the system, that T4 system, and the different mounts, you know, result in the aperture going in different directions. So that's what that was all about anyway. I know the first time I looked at it, I thought, what the hell is going on here? So I go to stop down all the way, and I think without looking, I'm thinking I'm getting all the way to f2, and I look at it, and it's closed right up to 22, and I'm like, what the heck? So I spin it the other way without looking, and I look back at it again, and it's f22, and I'm like, what the heck's going on here? So I, you know, had to sit there and look at it and watch as I went through. It would open up all the way. It was right in the middle. Duh. Very bizarre. So anyway, let's get you, what I normally do is get you a shot of my Canon M50, which I use to record these camera talks. And what I do is take a shot from here of the nameplate on the 15 to 45 EFM lens to see just how crispy I can get it at wide open 2.8, and then I'll stop down to 5.6 and show you what that looks like. So let's do that now, and then we'll get you some real world photos of this dude. You are the dude, right?
I'm the dude.
The dude. That's right. All right, so let's do wide open first. All right. Dun, 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 all the way down. Oh. Right about there. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that was at 2.8. Let's do 5.6. And that looks pretty crispy right there too. So no focus shift, that's nice. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, so that was 2.8 and 5.6. That's, you're done with that, mister. There was only two shots. And you know, again, one of the beauties of using my Sony A7R2 is it has built-in image stabilization. So, you know, I already, unlike many of my camera talks, I forget to set the shutter, the stabilization. Hang on, steady shot settings. That's what I want to call it.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
So I forget to do that. But since I was taking pictures of Dylan earlier, I got that squared away now, so it was nice and steady. Trying to you know, take steady shots of using a 135 without stabilization is a bit of a nightmare, especially close-up photos. Anyway, so how about some pictures of Dylan at 2.8? Looking good? Huh? How about Dylan at 5.6? You ready? 5.6. What do you think? You look good? Showing off your dinosaurs?
I would rather look good than to feel good, and you know who you are.
And of course, we always throw some just random shots in there using this lens of taking, since we're indoors here in my office, you know, trying to show off that bokeh and whatnot. It's not all that easy. So, show you some outside shots of using this lens on various things, from dogs and cats and other people, and landscape and flowers and just random stuff. So here's the random stuff at F whatever. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so that was it. What do you think about this lens? Can we recommend it? No.
No.
It's not that great. It's okay, but it's not that great. There's better 135s out there than this one, but it was economical. You know, I've done other camera talks on other 135s, which are pretty killer. This one's not bad. It's not bad. Not the greatest, but it's not bad. So, again, if you're low on funds and looking for a nice portrait lens, hey, why not? For 30, 40, 50 bucks, depending where you find it. You might luck out and find it at a garage sale or somebody's estate sale or something and get it for like $5. Who knows? Anyhow, how about our little plug for our photo editing software that we use? And who do we use? We use Luminar, Luminar AI, and Luminar Neo. Now, I don't even know if you could buy AI by itself anymore, but I haven't. But Luminar Neo is a combination of AI and Luminar 4, which was its predecessor. It's got all kinds of AI built into it.
I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
What does AI mean? Huh? You tell us what AI means? AI. Yes, what is it? Can you tell us? Okay. How about your guess? We'll give you 3. 1, 2, 3.
No!
Oh, you silly goose. It's not that. It's artificial intelligence. That's right. What kind of intelligence do you have?
I'm a very stable genius.
You're not sure? His teacher the other day, he's at preschool, 3-year-old at preschool. They were doing the planets and space and astronauts, space exploration. And she said to me, she says, well, he seemed to have fun today, but he didn't really get the concept of what space is. What the fuck? And I said, do I have to remind you he is 3 years old? I don't know any 3 years old to understand what space is, Anyway, it's funny, today's schools, everybody has to be brilliant.
I'm a fucking artist. I'm sensitive as shit.
So, anyway. But yeah, Luminar's got all kinds of great AI. Spot dust removal. Power line removal. So that's his way of saying power line removal. How about background removal? How about scenery lighting? Yeah, it's got all that stuff. And how does it work? Well, if you're working or editing a certain photo, you click on whichever button. Like if you're looking to get rid of your spots or dust, if you got a dirty sensor, it'll analyze your photo and it'll recognize what those spots and dust are, and it'll remove them for you instead of you having to click on the erase button and find the spots yourself and do it manually. So that's cool. Same with power lines. It'll remove them for you. Background. Dylan has photos. He wants to get rid of Daddy in the background. It'll analyze, choosing him as the subject if that's what he chooses, and it'll remove me. Yes! Removing Daddy from the background. Yeah, that's Dylan over there, huh? So it's $90. Pretty economical for the features that it has, all the bells and whistles. Now, if you want it cheaper than $90, you think people want a discount? Yeah, everybody wants a discount. Yes, they do. Click below. In the description, there's a link. Click on that link. It'll take you to Luminar. You can buy it, and it'll automatically deduct that $10, and you get it for $80. So hey, why not? Any kind of savings in life is great. Well, you get your little mosquito patch on there, huh? And let me put that on there. That's ugly, big red thing. But anyhow, what do they do with that $10? Well, they give it to us. Yeah, they give it to us since we tried to sell it for them. And what do they call that? They call that kickback. Yay! Kickback. That's right. And then someday you save up that $10, and you save up another $10, You save up another $10, and someday you'll have a bank account full of gold that you can dive into like a swimming pool. Yeah, so anyway, get yourself a copy of Luminar. And they're also in Ukraine. Everybody knows what's going on there. You know, Russia's not sure what the hell they're doing. But it's definitely not a good time for all anyway. So, yeah, support them. The name of the company is Skylum. And they're in, you know, Kiev doing their thing. You know, with the war going on, still giving us updates and producing, you know, bigger and better features in Luminar. Anyway, what else can we do? How about we ask for people's support? I don't mean financially, but how about you subscribe? You want them to subscribe? Huh? How about this hand? Subscribe. That's right. How about your hands and my hands together? Your fingers, my 2 fingers. That's, holy mackerel, that's 8 fingers. There you go. Subscribe. Subscribe. That's right. What else does YouTube like besides subscribers? Do they like the thumbs up? They like the thumbs up? Yeah. Well, if you give us a thumbs up, we'll give you a little taste of the thumbs up girls, right? Thumbs up. Do 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 do. Thumbs up. All right, so that was a thumbs up. You know, you're always trying to defend them, aren't you? Like they're your future girlfriends, all of them, not just one.
Yeah, baby.
So who are we? Who are we? You're Dylan. I'm Dr. Scott.
D-J-A-N-G-O. The D is silent.
And together, we are punching Daddy in the face. Modesty Photography. So we're here to talk about tips and tricks about photography, vintage lenses, camera systems, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know, filters, adapters, tilt shift, you know, you name it. We'll talk about it. If you want to leave a recommendation in the comment section below, feel free. What are you laughing at? It's like Bart Simpson. So, anyhow, I think that was about it, right? Is that about it? Yeah. All right, well. No, not yet. Why should people come back here? You should come back every week. We put a video out every Friday. Because you belong here. That's right. Where do they belong? What's the name of the show? This was Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. And Dylan, that's right. So, thank you for dropping by. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for buying a copy of Luminar through our link. Thank you for just being you. That's right. You think that's about it? All right. So you ready to say bye-bye? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bye-bye.